Well, hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Steelers Today. I'm Eddie Provident. With me is Dale Lolley. This is DK Pittsburgh Sports. Trade deadline day, Dale. And just as a disclaimer, because I know we've already had this happen with the Antoine Brooks release back in training camp. We are recording this at about 1:30. So if anything happens after 1:30, we probably won't know about it yet. So just bear in mind that that's happening with this recording. But right now we do have a Melvin Ingram trade to the Chiefs for a 6th-round pick. I think everyone knew that he was disgruntled with his playing time. You got any more insight on that trade?
The Steelers basically used the game against the Browns as a tryout for Taco Charlton. They liked what they saw. Charlton, ironically, was released by the Chiefs at the end of training camp this year, former first-round draft pick. So there's some, he's got the resume there in terms of, the potential.
Right.
It's never reached that potential, but, you're looking at him as in a backup role, 10 to 15 snaps a game. Okay. That's a little different than looking for a guy to come out and play, 50 snaps a game. Mm-hmm. Now, could he do that if need be? Sure. He's done it in the past. He started 12 games in his career. He's got 14 sacks in his career. So, there's a little something there. He also gives you the potential to play some special teams. Melvin Ingram wasn't going to do that for you.
Right.
So the Steelers got a 6th-round pick basically for a rental. Melvin Ingram served a purpose on this team. He got them through that first month of the season when they had guys banged up at outside linebacker. So all in all, it worked out for the best for them. They get a 6th-round pick for him. They weren't going to get that, even next year as a compensatory situation. He's 32. Mm-hmm. He's not going to sign a big enough contract to get you that kind of return as a compensatory selection. So, it worked out well for the Steelers. I assume it works out well for Melvin Ingram. He goes somewhere where he's going to play and he's needed. The Chiefs have way bigger problems than just the defense. If you watch them Monday night against the Giants, their offense is kind of broken right now in terms of penalties and turnovers and things of that nature. So, but the defense is a problem as well. So I'm sure he'll get a lot of snaps with the Kansas City Chiefs once he gets up to speed. And, of course, the Steelers play the Chiefs later in the season. So, they'll get a chance to see him. I would guess they're going to have to change some stuff in terms of hand signals and things of that nature because, you're going to play the Chiefs later this year. Right. So, in that regard, it gives you a little bit of a little more preparation, but that's way down the line in terms of, they don't play the Chiefs for another 2 months almost. So you get time to make those kind of adjustments and, we'll see where this goes. But right now, if the playoffs started today, which they never do until the end of the season, the Steelers are the 6th seed.
Yeah. And, there's no sense in speculating on what else is going to happen today, especially since by the time this comes out, trade deadline will be over. So you brought up, the Chiefs. The Steelers play the Chiefs in 2 months. And looking ahead, the Steelers have the Bears and the Lions coming up. Sitting here a month ago, we were being called homers and shills for saying that this season wasn't out of the window yet. There was still time for the Steelers to right the ship and kind of get things back in order. Now, 3 wins in a row, a bye week where they got some rest and got healthy. Now looking at 2 very winnable football games. What's your outlook for because the AFC's up in the air? I mean, you just said the Chiefs are having all kinds of issues. The AFC North is, there's a game and a half, 2 games between everybody. So there's really a lot to play for right now, and the Steelers are by no means out of things. Yeah,
I mean, I yesterday on Steelers Nation Radio, we took a look at the remaining schedules for everybody in the AFC, the teams that are really in contention. I mean, the Jaguars, the Jets, the teams of that nature, Houston, they're not in it. I know the Steelers, quote, had the toughest schedule in the league coming into the season. Well, you throw that out the window now. Mm-hmm. We're halfway through this season.
That's right.
What is everybody right now? The Browns were supposed to be a Super Bowl contender this year. They're not. So that doesn't look nearly as daunting. The Kansas City Chiefs were supposed to have a bye into the AFC Championship.
They're not.
They're not. They're struggling a little bit right now in terms of on both sides of the ball. Who's playing how right now? I still think the Bills are the class of the AFC. Mm-hmm. We just saw the Tennessee Titans lose Derrick Henry for the season. The Steelers got to play them.
Right.
You'd much rather play this. If you're looking at playing the Titans in the first half of the season, you're facing Derrick Henry. In the second half, not nearly as daunting. So things change, really from week to week, month to month in the NFL, and that's why you never. I've done this for 28 years. Finding that panic button somewhere in that facility over there, I've never found it. I've been everywhere in the facility, so I'm not sure, where that panic button is at, but I don't think there's one in that building.
I don't think so either, man. They always seem to have an answer. They always seem to be able to right the ship sometime in the middle of the season. It's just, it's one of those things where it's a constant where they're going to be competitive. They're going to at least put a decent product out on the field. Even the years that they've had losing seasons, they always find a way to at least be competitive and not be embarrassing.
Yeah. Bill Cowher always used to say it's a marathon, not a sprint. That is true of the NFL season. Teams that are playing well in September tend to, they fall off at times. Teams that are, you want to get hot at the right time. Again, I'm not saying the Steelers are a Super Bowl contender or anything of that nature. It's way too early to determine who those teams are. I think we know who the good teams are. I think we know who the pretty good teams are. I think the Steelers fall, somewhere in that pretty good class right now if you look at the overall picture. And, some guys will come along. They're playing a lot of rookies here. Maybe those rookies hit the wall. Maybe they don't.
Yeah,
maybe they just can push right through that and get better. But that's why they play the games. That's what makes it interesting. That's why you all watch.
That's right. Hey, before we go, how was your stay in the Factory of Sadness over the weekend?
Typical Cleveland. They shut that city down on Sunday mornings, as Dejan Kovacevic found out. But when he couldn't find a Starbucks open anywhere on Sunday morning, boy, was he grouchy. Typical Cleveland. If you watch the videos coming out of that, now they're all ready to blow things up. But you know what? They got that playoff win last year. That'll I guess have to soothe them over for the next, I don't know,
Baker Mayfield was really excited about that first down too.
Yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for watching. For Dale Lolley, for DK Pittsburgh Sports, I'm Eddie Provident. We'll see you next time.